138 Islamic leaders, imams, and scholars issued a letter recently. It was interpreted variously by various people. It was interesting to me how Christians who were from Muslim backgrounds interpreted it. Dr. Patrick Sukedo of Barnabas Trust, Walid Shubat, Bishop Michael Nazir Ali, one of the few decent people left in the Church of England, Al Mola of the Southern Baptists, Yosef Farah of WorldNet Daily. Why don't they want to listen to people who were saved out of Islam? Don't born-again Christians who used to be Muslim have any say in these things? But instead, a letter was issued by a number of Christian leaders, again Christian. Roman Catholic, yes. Eastern Orthodox, yes. Liberal Protestant, absolutely. But a number of people who say they were born again, representing such institutions as Biola, here in LA, the National Association of Evangelicals, Wheaton College, Evangelical Theological Seminary, Tyndale Seminary, Youth with a Mission, Richard Moo of Fuller Theological Cemetery, a seminary, Young Yi Chow, Brian McLaren, the guru of the emergent church, all of them led by Mr. Rick Warren. I only state facts. In the aftermath of the Islamic kidnapping of Israeli soldiers and showering of Galilee with katyushas, to which the Israelis were forced to respond in self-defense, to Hamas, who fired the rockets using their own women and children as human shields, so when the Israelis shot back to protect their women and children, Jim Clancy of CNN could show how bad the Israelis are. The man is so incompetent he confused Cana in Lebanon with Cana of Galilee, not knowing the difference between the two locations. He was walking around in Cana, Lebanon, saying, look, this is where Jesus changed the water into wine. Look what the Israelis did. Well, he went to Galilee, where the real Cana was. He would have seen 10 dead Arab Christians killed by Hamas rockets fired from the other Cana north of the border. CNN didn't report that or even correct the idiocy. Two weeks later, Mr. Warren went to Syria, who in partnership with Ahmadinejad and Iran supplied the Qasem and Katyusha rockets to attack Israel and to carry on their campaign of extermination of the Christians in Lebanon that Bridget explained last night. And he sang the praises of Syria. Forget about Christianity for one moment. Just go on a human rights website. Look what Syria does to its own people. The Assad regime killed 35,000 Shia Muslims in one air attack on one of its own cities. And he spoke of the wonderful freedom that Christians have in Syria. Go tell that to Bridget Gabriel. When Mr. Warren was accosted for this, he returned to California and gave an interview to Christianity Today magazine. Defending his actions, he said, those who were critical of his statements that he made in Syria are more interested in politics than they are in evangelism. He didn't evangelize Muslims in Syria. He didn't preach the gospel in Syria. I wish he did. Then he would at least know what he's talking about, the wonderful freedom that Christians have in Muslim countries. This is a man people are following? He has a global peace plan, a global peace plan. Now, God has a peace plan. We read about it in Isaiah 52, Ishayahu Hanavi. Nunbet, and we read about it in Ephesians 6. How lovely on the mountain are the feet of him who brings good news. Ephesians 6, shod your feet with the shoes of the gospel of peace. God's peace plan is people being saved. It's evangelism. It's people being born again and becoming disciples of Jesus. That's God's peace plan. However, evangelical America now has a different one. It's an acronym, PEACE. The P, partnering with churches that are into the purpose-driven agenda. That's the first step of the peace plan for the world peace. E, education. A, assisting the poor. C, caring for the sick. E, equipping. Given the fact he's got two E's, shouldn't at least one of them be evangelism? Our ministry is known for our work in Africa with AIDS babies. Yes, I believe in assisting the poor, caring for the sick. But you can assist all the poor and care for all the sick you want. That's not going to save one soul. Our righteous deeds are as filthy rags. We do good works because we've been saved, not to get saved. That's the righteousness of Jesus. It's not our own. The only thing going to keep a cocaine dealer and a former communist from New York out of the pit of hell is the blood of my Messiah. God has his peace plan. Rick Warren has his. The question is, which one do you want to believe? You can't believe both. 2 weeks ago, and I speak now as an evangelist to the Jews. I've been an evangelist to Jews for over 30 years. He spoke to the Union of Reformed Synagogues, the Rabbis' Convention, telling them how to grow bigger synagogues using the purpose-driven agenda based on marketing psychology and what amounts to New Age. I want to see Jews born again and follow their Messiah. Paul said, my heart's desire is that they would be saved. I don't want them to go into a synagogue that rejects their own Messiah and puts them onto a road to eternal perdition and separation from the God of their fathers.